All right, let's do this thing. What's up, Warrior Nation? It's great to see you. Uh, Welcome to the virtual banquet video. It's this has just been absolutely nuts, and I'm sure you're going to hear us all talk about that in this video for you guys today. But we're going to try and make this as normal as possible with all the talking from your directors, from Wendy, senior outgoing drum major, plus the senior slideshow and the end of year slideshow. Um, Something doesn't feel right though. Oh, yeah, that. Hang on a second. Hang on. Ugh. Okay, that's better. All right, friends. So, to kick off the banquet, we are going to start with our outgoing senior drum major, Wendy Rivera, to give us a small year in review.
Hey band, it's Wendy. I just wanted to say a few things. Recently, things have not been going as planned, like how we were supposed to have banquet in person, and then virtual banquet, and now we have to have banquet in video. Luckily for us, because we're in band, we've learned how to adapt to pretty much anything, and this can make for some pretty fun memories. In fact, when I asked the seniors about their favorite memories in band, a lot of them had to do about when the band had to improvise due to unforeseen circumstances and it made an impact. Like the year of string theory, when we had to run for cover because of the rain on the field, and the many rained out games that we had last year. A lot of stuff can happen during band, and because of that, we have a lot of good memories. Like our overnight trip during string theory year in San Antonio, all our football games, watching a watermelon get thrown off the band tower, getting finals during competition, getting medaled for the first time, getting light sticks in the bus on the way back from a competition, and last but not least, the BOA Waco run, where we all did our very best and we really came together. We came together as groups, with the flutes doing Secret Santa and Flute of the Week, the trombones in their Violent Shadows ensemble, the tubas at IHOP, and percussion winning first in drums at the Mansfield competition in our class, and of course, the percussion annual White Elephant party. We've had two new band directors this year, Mr. Whaley and Mrs. Benacosta, and we've loved them ever since the first day. We really could not have succeeded this year the way we did without you guys. Thank you so much for your enthusiasm and appreciation that you bring to band. We've had so many band director changes over the years, but you guys by far are the best. And of course, none of this could be done without McCann. From telling us your racetrack stories to the stories about the cats that live by your house, we truly appreciate everything that you do for us. Thank you for always believing in us. Also, a special thank you to the parents, especially the ones who came to every football game, set up tailgate, loaded the truck with the heavy stuff, and pulled out the props in every football game and competition. We literally could not have done anything without you. Freshmen, I hope you had a great year. Stick with it and it only gets better. You guys really contribute so much to the band. Sophomores and juniors, I love you guys. And seniors, we did it. We lasted all 4 years, and we've had some really good times and not some good times. We've grown tighter together. Our senior year has been crazy from the beginning, from having senior night at Martin, then running through the football field through the sign, and then getting our second semester taken away from us. Because of this, I know we will go far, because we've had to learn how to adapt so much, and it will help us later on. I have really enjoyed being in band. I am truly honored to have been one of your drum majors for the past 3 years. I will never forget the memories and friendships. Thank you for making my high school years remarkable, and I will miss you more than you'll ever know.
Thanks, Wendy. And now it's time to hear from our band directors, starting with Mr. Sneed.
Hey everyone. I hope you guys are having a great time at home with your family and friends and loved ones. I know I've been enjoying the time with my wife and my son, who's now 10 months old, if you can believe that. Before I give out my 2 awards for Most Improved and Most Outstanding Color Guard, I'd like to take a moment and reflect on the season. We all know that the whole Martin Band program had a stellar year doing some serious work in the BOA circuit this fall. But what many of you may not know is that the Color Guard continued that trend right through Winter Guard. They placed in the top 3 of every NCCA show this year, making 2 third places and 1 second place, as well as making the WGI Dallas Regional Finals, which is really one of the hardest regionals in the country. To say that I'm proud of the hard work that these girls have put into this program is an understatement. Besides competition, we grew our guard family this spring. With the help of our high school guard, the Young and Bulls Winter Guard, we grew to 30 performers. The look on those young faces as they performed their show was pure joy, every single time they entered that gym. Thank you for taking the time to nurture the future of our program. Speaking of thanks, a huge thank you to the parents that transported floors and equipment for us at a moment's notice, the parents who planned and prepared food and gifts for our kids to make the season special. A very special thank you to the whole band staff who was always ready to help in every situation and took trips to see the girls perform, talking to them at the end of their performances. A very special thank you to Mr. McCann for valuing the program and doing everything he can to give the girls what they need to be successful. And lastly, a special thank you to my wife for being my rock and supporting me in my work, no matter how far away the contests are or how late the rehearsals get.
Thanks, Casey. Next up, we're going to hear from Mr. Carmona talking about his perspective of the year.
Hey everyone. Hope all of you are doing okay at home. Hope you're not too bored, and hope school is going all right for everybody. Just wanted to say a couple of things. So this was my third year teaching, not just teaching at Martin, but teaching in general. So my first 2 years, as a percussion director, I really wanted to make sure that the percussion section was as good as it could possibly be. And I thought we did that. And every year it's been getting better and better. And this past year was the best it's ever been, hands down. I had so much fun, as did, I'm sure, a lot of them. It just was so much fun to just know that we were about to throw down some notes. So that was fun. But I want to thank Mr. McCann, especially for letting me be on the tower and run rehearsal a couple of times. I had a lot of fun doing that. It was super, super helpful to us. And I also want to thank all of you. So not when I say all of you, I mean when players, color guard members, for letting me be on the tower and just like listening to me and just doing exactly what I needed you to do, even though you had no other option. I'm sure I heard not too long ago, obviously before the quarantine, that some of you think that I'm a mean teacher. I could see why. I promise you I'm not a mean teacher. I'm not a mean person. But like, obviously, during marching band, a lot of it was, no, this was wrong, do this, fix that, it's not good enough, do it again, reset. And I'm sorry about that if I came across as mean. But if you think, the reason I come across or come on so strong is because I just want you guys to be the best that you can be. So that when we go into a contest or a performance whatsoever, you know that it's going to be awesome and you're going to destroy that performance or competition or whatever it is. I'm sure I speak for all your directors when I say that we want you to perform at the highest level possible. All of your directors have had experiences like doing, your activity at the highest level possible, whether that be drum corps or BOA Grand Nationals or indoor color guard or whatever. They've all done like amazing things. And we just want the same thing for you guys. I also want to thank all the parents. The percussion parents are always super, super awesome, super supportive. So that's Crystal, Aaron, Jennifer, Nicole. All of you guys are super, super awesome. But I also just want to thank all the parents. So like the band booster parents, the volunteers that come and help during football games or during performances, or even those that just come and support. Maybe you can't go to a contest with us, but you're there cheering us on. Thank you guys so much. We really couldn't do what we do without you. Also just want to thank Mr. Sneed and Mr. McCann. You two obviously you guys have been here at Martin longer than any of us. I just want to thank you two for, just kind of running things sometimes and being super awesome role models. But I also especially want to thank the two new people, Ms. Benacasa and Mr. Whaley. Martin has had some great teachers come through, but I think Mr. Whaley and Ms. Benacasa are exactly what Martin needs for this program. You guys are awesome teachers. You're super fun to be around. You're super funny. And work doesn't really get boring or old with you guys there. You guys make it really, really fun. I enjoy working with you guys. And I'm really, really looking forward to working with not just you two, but with everyone next year. All the freshmen that are coming in, they're going to be great. For the seniors, right, I'm sorry that this is your last year. This is kind of how it's gone down. But I wish you guys all the best, and I can't wait for those of you that come back next year. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun. Trust me. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay. And I can't wait for next year. See you.
Thank you, Mr. Carmona. We appreciate everything that you do. Next up, Mrs. Benacasa.
Hey Warriors! I know this year took an unexpected turn, and if you told me 1 year ago today that in my new job I would be doing the last 2.5 months of school from home, I would not believe you. None of us, I think, would believe that. But it took away a lot of things from us. While it did take away the mountain of UIL stress, it took away a lot of our lasts and a lot of special moments and traditions, especially for the seniors. And it took away any feeling of completeness. It took away my last appointment to get my braces off. But whatever. What it didn't take away, though, are all of the memories and the accomplishments that you've already had this year. And as I think back over this entire school year, it's been a pretty good one for me. From jumping in at the 4th of July parade camp, frantically trying to learn names and figure out the culture of the band, I was really excited to see what you guys could do. And that parade was a lot of fun. It was really hot, but it was fun. And fast forward to Sassy leadership training, where I got to know some of the leaders a little bit more, and I got to see a leadership team that was invested in their band, just ready to kick off the year. So exciting. And then band camp. Oh, band camp. You remember, you were there. The sweat, the work, the hard work, the stank, the pie. Some of my favorite times during band camp is just the random stuff that would happen like that, and that you guys would do during your breaks, just you guys being yourselves. And then the school year began, and with it came football games and marching contests, and watching you guys go from warm-up to performance, seeing your hard work pay off was really, really rewarding. And of course all the random happenings in between, like before an evening rehearsal, going and getting Whataburger, coming back in Mr. Whaley's truck, driving alongside Mr. Carmona, going for a run, like he always does, and then feeding him French fries out the window while he was running. That was fun. Random stuff. And then I remember BOA Waco, standing with Mr. McCann and Mr. Whaley, and the feeling of nervous anticipation we all had during the prelims announcements. And Mr. McCann said if we medaled, he would eat his hat. And he had his hat like right here that entire time. And then they announced us 3rd place in class, and he was like, nah! That was so exciting. Just the feeling of elation everybody felt was incredible. And then going on to finals and making school history, I know that I could not have been prouder of you guys, and just that was an incredible feeling of accomplishment, and I hope that you take that with you. Then making our way into concert season and experiencing the holidays with you guys. One of my favorite holiday memories was sitting in a dress rehearsal for Wind Symphony in the auditorium, hearing you guys run through Still Knocked, and you did it in the dark with the tea lights, the whole shebang, and just listening to you perform that in a completely still and silent room was really, really special. It brought some goosebumps, and I hope you recognize what special moments even the rehearsals were for that. And then getting to know concert band a little bit better and seeing what hard workers you guys really are. Another favorite memory there was on our final exam day, totally destroying Skylar at Super Smash Bros. And then over the course of the rest of the year in concert band, seeing some of you take on leadership within the ensemble and really growing into yourselves. And that's just one of the most rewarding things to watch as a band director. You did a lot of maturing over the course of the season, and it was just incredible to see you grow as musicians. You took on all the technical exercises I forced you to do, and you were beginning to get pretty stinking good. I actually kind of enjoyed watching the videos you guys made. From Victor and his crazy costumes, to Joey's 5-minute videos that always started with, hey, Miss Benacasa, this is my snare drum, this is my yard, this is my dog, to people like Desiree, Tammy, and Andrea, and Isaac too. Actually, a lot of you did this in your video after you play a successful run, going, oh my god, yes, I did it, and then stopping the video. It was just really neat to share in your success right then and there. And then to a video Haley sent me of Kelly's Snapchat story about practicing her bribing skills on me to try and get first chair. And then just to the progress you guys all made based off of the comments I gave you. I was really, really proud. And then getting to know some of you guys even better during sectionals. Those were some of my favorite times because I not only got to see your progress firsthand, but working with smaller groups of you guys and just focusing on the individual is a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs during those rehearsals, but you guys also worked really, really hard during that hour. There were so many of those where one of you would say at the end, "What? It's already over?" And, you know, as a band director, that's the thing that's kind of fun to hear because it shows that you guys really care about what you're doing, and I love watching it happen, and I love spending that time with you. Then there was that time the flute section got me a Nerf gun for my birthday to use on the talkative sections, and I didn't end up doing that because, you know, I like having a job, so it ended up getting used for target practice on Mr. Whaley and Mr. McCann and the Sandman. Don't get me started on the Sandman. It's in my house here somewhere right now, and okay, anyway. We were making so much progress up to spring break, and we were ready to come back and really pop forward until UIL, and then all of a sudden it was all over. And that kind of sucks. I wish we had the chance to finish what we started, and while we all enjoy the extra sleep we're getting, hear me from the bottom of my heart when I say that I miss you guys, and I really do wish we had the chance to finish what we started. I'm so proud of how far you've come. In spite of that, this has been one of my absolute favorite years teaching thus far. May even be my favorite. Part of that is because of the people I get to work with each day. Mr. McCann, Mr. Whaley, Mr. Carmona, Mr. Sneed. You guys are such a joy to work with. And then part of it's the parents. You guys who work so hard to keep us fed, to take care of whatever needs we have, raise money, basically do just what needs to be done. And then lastly, of course, you guys, the students. You make it so easy to wake up each morning and go to work. Anyway, thank you so much for welcoming me this year into your band program, and I just can't wait for things to get back to normal so we can see each other again and just do band again. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mrs. Benacasa. Next up, we have Mr. Whaley. Take it away, Mr. Whaley.
Hey band, so isn't this fun that we have to do our banquet over the internet like this? Oh my gosh. So, hey, I just wanted to say hello, and for those of you who forgot, I'm Mr. Whaley. You might remember me from, when I was running around crazy, throwing your water jugs in the Lost and Found during marching season, or maybe you remember me from all the attempts of trying to embarrass Mr. McCann over and over and over again. But I'm still here, and it's good to connect with you guys one more time. So, Mr. McCann asked us to do like a little speech and just to kind of recap the year. And here's my attempt at that. I'm going to start from the very beginning, which was like, for those of you who don't know, Mr. McCann called, this is like 3 years in a row. He's like, "Hey man, you need to come out here and come teach in Texas." And I was actually pretty I was pretty happy at my old job, and the timing wasn't right. Like, I just bought a house, got a second director, it was all good. And then I finally looked into it, and then I came down. He had me come down to the 5K run, and I got to see the vibe of the group, which was exceptional. Like, when you walk into a band room or you walk into like any band program, you get a first impression kind of feeling, and I could tell that this band was something special. And I mean, with Mr. McCann at the helm, like, of course it was going to be. Like, we know this. But after that day, after I did the 5K and took it all in, I was like, all right, let's go. Like, let's make this happen. I'm ready to move. And it was pretty awesome. So then I got down here. We got to do band camp. I met the 4for4 crew, which was my first memory of this band program, of just like, oh my gosh, if I could just remember who was in it. I think it was John and Tristan and oh god, it was like this whole mob of people. Probably Sam was in there too, and they just marched in and they're like 4for4 for Wendy's, I'll remember that for a very long time. We go forward into marching season, and I was like, okay, this is really different. I gotta figure out how to teach these kids. Like, here's this guy coming in who wants to help us, and you guys had to be vulnerable, and I had to like trust you guys to not talk crap behind your I don't know, under your breath. He was like, who's this guy trying to do all these stupid things? So um, then we started talking about pie. And I think after that day, everybody was like, okay, the 3 band directors are eating pie in the middle of the band grid, teaching us, basics or whatever. This is going to be good. The competition season, you guys know, is great. We talk about that over and over, and hopefully continue to do that. But yeah, it's super crazy. Then we transitioned into concert season, and I remember during marching season, the kids are like, "Oh, I'm in your band. This is gonna be great." And then I was like, "No, I'm kind of a jerk. Like, this is gonna be really interesting after your opinion about this afterwards." And I think I proved that to you. Like, I'm kind of a jerk in concert season. But honestly, guys, the main thing that I had to do this year was see how far you can be pushed. And it was kind of the experiment group, and I'm sorry for that, but I have to know what this band can do. It's like my favorite movie, Down Periscope, 1996, Kelsey Grammer. It's awesome. But they take this really old submarine, and they have to do like tests and everything. It's like a submarine from the 50s, and they're going past like the depth of what you're supposed to do, and he just keeps going and going. He's like, I gotta know what we can do, and then then they know what we're capable of. So we did the winter concert, and that music was hard. McCann was like, "You're an idiot. Why are you programming music that hard?" I was like, "Just let it happen. Let's do it." And there were some successes with that concert, that winter concert, and there was some failure, and that's okay, because then we all learn from that, and now we kind of know. I know what to do, and then you guys know, like, oh, we can do this if we really push ourselves, which was great. So UIL came around, UIL season. That was the birth of Pretzel Wednesday, because on Wednesdays we're just so beat down, and we just needed a pretzel, with orchestra and UIL and all of this. Like, yeah, it was crazy. So Pretzel Wednesday is I just hope everybody participates in Pretzel Wednesday. But I already said this, but thank you, Symphonic Band. It sucks that our time was cut short. You guys were really pushing the envelope on what the Symphonic Band has done in the past, for my understanding, and it was really great to kind of be a part of that. So I'm really looking forward to next year. I kind of know what to do now, like as far as how many assessments to do, because I felt like this was too much, and you guys know that. But I'm always learning with you. So this first year was throw as much as we can at you and see what sticks. And now it's just going to be like, okay, everything is going to work out. But guys, really, really, really proud of you for everything that you've done and how far you tried to push yourselves, and how far you've come in believing that you can be great. And it doesn't matter if you're in concert band, symphonic band, or wind symphony. There's the quality of the product can still be very, very, very high, no matter what band you're in. And you guys, are starting to come around to that idea, and it's really great to see. So my final thing that I'll leave with you is I'm really proud to be here. I'm really excited. I'm not leaving, and I'll be here to keep trying to push to see what we can do. But anyway, guys, all the best to you, and thanks for welcoming me into the family. And I look forward to a lot of years together, and hopefully seniors, like when you come back, you're going to be like, dang, like this band is come a long way, and you guys are helping pave that road. So again, thanks, peeps. Take care. I'll see you on the flip side.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Whaley. And now it's my turn. I'm sure, there's going to be things that I will say that have been said by the other directors, because I'm making a point to not watch their videos and just edit it together. So it's a big surprise for me, just like a regular banquet would be. So to start, man, what a year. Like, it's just, no one's ever seen anything like this. And it's been fun to watch everything kind of develop over the course of this year. I want to start by, thanking the directors, Mr. Sneed, Mr. Carmona, Mrs. Benacasa, and Mr. Whaley. This is my 5th year as being the head band director at James Martin, and just being very frank, it's a lot of those years have been very stressful, just because the team wasn't exactly right. But this time around, this year, it has been an absolute joy to be around these individuals, with Mr. Carmona and Mr. Sneed, seeing them just continue on with their excellence and developing just their parts of the program. It's been so fun to watch. Mrs. Benincasa and Mr. Whaley are an absolute riot. We've got our little Pretzel Wednesday tradition, and it just a lot of other little inside jokes that I just had no idea it could be this much fun doing my job. And they do a wonderful job of helping me out with taking a lot of the pressure off. I'll sit there behind the desk and go, and then the next thing that happens is Mr. Whaley goes, "What's wrong, Mr. McCann?" And then I have to vent, and they're always there to help out. And so I really appreciate all the help that they've given us this year. Next, students, I want to thank you guys. Obviously we couldn't do this without you. It's been super fun to watch this all develop and go and turn into something that, there's people talking about us now. People know that we are being successful and that we're turning a corner, and that's super exciting. And it's not us. It's not the band directors. It's all the students. Okay. You're the ones that take the ball and you're the ones that run with it. So I want to thank all of you guys for all of your help. Parents, I say this every year, without you, we couldn't have the students. So thank you very much for being a parent. To the booster board, you guys are very fun to hang around with. There's been years where the booster board has been, cats and dogs, but I think we're all kind of on the same page. We're all working toward a common goal. And I thank you for all of the effort that you guys put forth to try and make sure that our students have successful, opportunities through marching band, concert band, color guard, drumline, and all those events. Lastly, I want to thank my wife, Jess. She's currently not here right now. She's away, so this is perfect. I can say what I want to say. I love you. You're amazing. And kids, someday you're going to find somebody as amazing as Jess. And hold on tight. Don't let them slip away. I don't know. I'm shooting from the hip here. But as always, Jess, you are the queen of my inspiration. So that's all I got. Oh, no, I'm sorry. One more thing. Typically I walk away with, kind of a comment that, we can all take with us. There's a quote that I read recently by Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise from Star Trek. And I think it kind of encapsulates, that's the right word. Everything that's been going on like this year. And it goes like this. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That's not weakness. That's life. So I hope that you take all of these things that have happened this current year with, the coronavirus shutting everything down and not getting to perform UIL music or getting together for the DC trip. Please take what we've done and understand that this was all out of our control, and that's not a weakness. That's not weakness at all. Also, one more funny comment here. And this is going to make a good segue into the senior slide show. There it is. All right. Seniors, you've gone through quite a bit of an experience when it comes to just your band time. You've gone through director changes every single year you've been at Martin. And that is tough. That's very, very hard to take care of, to navigate with that much change. So I want to commend you, seniors, on all the work that you've put forward these past few years to continue down the right path and try to make this program better than you found it. Winnie the Pooh once said, "How lucky we are to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. So with that being said, here is the senior slideshow.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do. I walk that wire and I take that step. Won't look down, got no regrets. Won't look down, got no regrets. I was made for this.
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Alrighty, with the senior slideshow done now, it's time to move on to the awards for the 2019-2020 season. To start out, we're going to go to Mr. Sneed to talk about the color guard.
Moving on to the Guard Awards, we'll start with Most Improved Guard member. This goes to a student who's been so positive to have around. She's helped teach the middle school, and she smiles at every rehearsal, no matter how tough it is. And everyone around her is basically brought up by her presence. And I know the whole team would agree with me. Give a big round of applause to Ashlyn Holland. And finally, Most Outstanding Guard member. This award goes to a student who personifies what it means to be on our team. That when things may not go their way or when things are tough, that they know how to work through it, they know how to push through, and they know how to do their very best all the way to the end, despite the circumstances. This award goes to Cassidy Hayes. Thank you, Martin Band, and I can't wait to see you guys very soon.
Thank you, Mr. Sneed. Next, we're going to go to Mr. Carmona to talk about his awards for the percussion section.
All right, so awards. So I'll be presenting 2 awards for the percussion section. The first one's for Most Improved, and the other one's for Most Outstanding Percussionist. So this year's Most Improved award goes to someone that's always been really smart, always hardworking, but in 7th and 8th grade, it didn't necessarily come natural to this person, which sometimes that happens. But this kid has worked super hard this past year and has, improved a lot since they've gotten here. And he's just kind of funny and just great to have around. This year's Most Improved award goes to Lane Fender. It's pretty awesome. And so now for the Most Outstanding Percussionist this year. So this year, this kid's been kind of killing it for a while now. This kid, when he first got here, he was already a really good player, for being so young. When he first got to Martin, has just gotten way better. And this past year, even though he's not going to be able to march this year, he made a world-class drum corps and was able to make a world-class WGI group. But he's just kind of been, pretty killer at everything else, whether it's cymbals, triangle, tambourine, anything like that. So I think you probably already know who it is. So this year's Most Outstanding Percussionist goes to Zeke Strong. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Carmona. And now it's time for Mrs. Benacasa to give out awards for the concert band.
All right, so for concert band, I am giving away a Most Outstanding Musician Award and a Most Improved Musician Award. And I actually have 2 to give away for Most Improved. I'll start with those. Our first award for Most Improved Musician goes to a kid who we struggled a bit, I think, in the fall with. And watching this kid grow up from marching season into concert season was a really cool thing. He matured quite a bit. And even during his sectionals and concert band would keep the other kids on task whenever they would get off task, which was very helpful. Thank you. He also really wanted to get better at his instrument. So he started taking lessons, and in each one of the playing assignments that I gave them, he would always ask, what can I do to get better? What can I do to get better? And I would tell him, and he would do those things. And I'm just so proud of this kid. And I think that if you choose to be the influencer instead of the influencee and continue to do that, you're going to do amazing things in this band program. Really look forward to seeing it. So our first award for Most Improved goes to Rodrigo Pineda. Yay! My second award for Most Improved goes to a kid who in marching season was a bit more of a follower, and I think she felt maybe young. I think she felt like she was a bit on the young side, but in concert season, she grew into becoming a mama duck for her section, which is really cool. She began to view herself, I think, as more of a leader in there, and I think she took that role on really, really well. She also made leaps and bounds on her instrument. She started taking lessons as well in the fall, and was constantly looking for ways to practice to get better, and I'm so proud of this kid. We tried to move her into symphonic band at semester, but her schedule didn't allow for it. I really wish that, you know, we could have rewarded you in that way, but please accept this award for most improved musician. My second award, Tyler Dill. Congrats, Tyler! My third award is for most outstanding musician. This award goes to a kid who worked very, very hard the entire year, plays her instrument really well, always just nailed the playing tests, and I really don't think that there's a shred of arrogance in this kid, just so humble. In marching season, we asked her to leave the JV block and take on a varsity dot, but play a completely different instrument, and she took that on. She learned that instrument, she played. She really just did a fantastic job, and we're so proud of her. That was a huge service she did for the band, and we want her to be recognized for that. So my most outstanding musician award goes to Caden Ramirez. Yay! Congrats, Caden. Thank you so much. Bye. Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Mrs. Benacasa. And now it's time for Mr. Whaley to give out his awards for the Symphonic Band.
All right, folks, and now on to our Symphonic Band Awards. So these awards were not very easy to give out. We had a lot of debate between the three band directors, kind of talking about everybody in that band, because a lot of you came really far, and a lot of you deserve this award, but we had to narrow it down to one person. So today, I'm going to be giving out the Most Improved Award for the Symphonic Band. This student, through all the videos that they turned in, would take all of the advice that I gave, and by the end of all of those videos, ended up like just really kind of breaking through, sounding way better than they have at the beginning of the year, and I was really impressed. It was really great to see. So that person is, drum roll, it's David Ramirez. Yay! So congrats, David. Definitely deserve it. I mean, your oboe playing has come a really long way. So really happy to give that award to you. So then this brings me to the most outstanding member in Symphonic Band. And again, there were so many people that really could have earned this award, but this person was just so consistent, and every orchestra director and every band director that ever heard them play was just like, oh my God, like, how is he? Well, wow. So the most outstanding member in Symphonic Band goes to Brandon Leon, also an oboe player, because holy poop, he sounds real good and is super consistent and has a good attitude, and it's great. So congratulations, you two. Definitely well deserved, and enjoy the rest of the banquet.
Thank you, Mr. Whaley. And now it's time for the awards for Wind Symphony. First, we're going to start off with the Most Improved Wind Symphony member. This person is not new to Wind Symphony. They've been in the Wind Symphony for a year or two, and it has been an absolutely incredible time to watch this student grow on their instrument. They have put forth a lot of energy to try to get better, and it's given them the opportunity to be a part of the region band and being very close to making the area. The 2019-2020 Most Improved Student in the Wind Symphony is Zach Palm. Yay! All right. Now it's time to give out the John Philip Sousa Award. The JPS is an award that every high school in the country who has a band program has on their walls. That kind of represents the most valuable player out of the seniors. And I want to go out there and just say that, the student has had a really interesting, band life. Traditionally, when they go through their freshman year and don't do band, and then they come back, it's typically kind of a whatever, what's going down. But this student has definitely come back and been an absolute asset to the band program. They led the flute section when nobody else was willing to lead the flute section, and they've done it with grace and with fun personality and just lots of hard work. It's one of those things where we always talk about, when you lose a senior, how you going to make up for it. And well, the fact of the matter is it's going to be really hard to lose the student, but we know that they're going to go on and do a lot of great things. Your 2019-2020 John Philip Sousa Award winner is Lynn Hong. Yay! And now it's time to give out the Louis Armstrong Award. The Louis Armstrong Award goes to a student who's a senior who is shown exemplary performance in the area of jazz. This is kind of a no-brainer this year. This student's been in the jazz program for 4 years, and watching them from their freshman year to now, watching them develop has been an absolute joy. This student is actually continuing on to do music in college and study jazz, and I'm sure that he's just going to continue to grow incredibly. So, the 2019-2020 Louis Armstrong Award winner is Daniel Cobby. Yay! Next up is the Director's Award. This is one that, all the directors sit down and talk about who's a senior that deserves recognition when it comes to what they've done for the band program. And this student it's the kind of kid where you look at them and you go, I wish everybody had this kind of drive when it came to how they play their instrument. This student has taken quite a wild path through the band program their last 4 years. They almost lost everything, and they came back, and the person that they are now is not the person that they were when they were a freshman, by huge leaps. I love this student. This student resonates a lot with me personally. This kid was kind of who I was when I was in high school, when it came to their playing. And I think that, with the other directors talking about this too, we all came to the agreement that this could only be one person. The 2019-2020 Director's Award goes to Kyler Thomas. And now it's time to finally give out the Esprit de Corps Award. This award goes to students that represent great leadership and kind of the spirit of the band program. When the directors were sitting talking about, who this should go to, and this was another, obvious choice. These two students are so much fun to be around. Just the stories that I'm going to remember for the rest of my career of these students doing ridiculous things, but everybody looking at that and going, "That's cool." We're going to miss these kids a lot, and I certainly hope that they don't go away. Hopefully, they come back and say what's going on and whatnot. And also, I certainly hope that these students continue to develop stories and make drawings of thick hand. So the 2019-2020 award for Esprit de Corps goes to India Reeves and Arianisha Johnson. Well, that about wraps it up. This has been an absolute blast sitting here at my kitchen table, trying to make an awards and banquet show, actually putting on a suit. Honey, it's suit day!
Suit day!
That's right. So it's been super fun to make this. And I know that, we haven't been able to see each other in person for the last, forever. But I tell you what, I have a quote. I have one more quote for you guys before we get to the end of your slideshow. Yeah. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. Andy Bernard. Michael Scott. I don't know. Anyways, with that being said, that's all I've got, ladies and gentlemen. The 2019-2020 end of year slideshow. Thanks for being with us. Stay safe, Warriors. Love you guys.
In third place, with a score of 83.2, the James Martin High School Marching Band from Arlington, Texas.
Congratulations, the very first time Martin has ever been on the podium at a BOA contest. There are so many things that are against us that never let us get us down. And you push through and you persevere, and this is magic. Absolute magic.
Yeah, boys.
I had a feeling going into this year it was going to be different. Before, like when we hired Mr. Whaley and Mrs. Benacasa, we knew it was going to be different. And Mr. Carmona has stepped up his game too. And Mr. Speed as well.
Martin High School Marching Band from Arlington, Texas.
We only have 8 hours of rehearsal left of this show. 8. And there's still a lot of tweaking. We do have one more contest, and that's going to be a harder contest.
The James Martin High School.
Try to eat right now. Yeah. Okay. And then after we eat, we gotta eat!
There are some things you learn best in calm, and some in storm. Storms draw something out of us that can't seem.
Joining us from Arlington, Texas, please welcome the James Martin High School Marching Band. James Martin High School show is entitled The Perfect Storm and features the following musical selections: Wind Sprints by Richard Saucedo, Costa Rican Standoff from Jurassic World, Oceanic 815 from Lost, and Wine Dark Sea by John Mackey. Bands of America is proud to present in regional finals performance drum majors Wendy Rivera, Lauren Graves, Ashley Green, and Emily Martin, and the James Martin High School Boiler Band.
magic. That was something incredibly special. And I tell you, like, I don't know. Congratulations. This is something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. And I'm so happy personally that I can share that memory with all of you.
Being the last home game for our seniors, we want to celebrate their commitment and determination in making this marching season the best Martin has ever had. So everyone, get on your feet, get those cameras out, and let's cheer on our senior class, your Martin High School fight song.